He's taking it off.
The shots. The shots that you'll remember forever. The ones that are so perfect and so legendary, you could tell your kids about, and in a couple hundred years they'll be nothing but an urban myth. The shots that are so perfect, you could get it appraised at an auction, and they would call it invaluable. The shots that would make grown men cry. Not cry, weep. They would weep so much that they would be completely dehydrated. A 12-pack of cold yellow Gatorade wouldn't even replenish them. They would need a liquid IV. The shots you'll remember forever. But then there's the ones you wish you could forget. Erase from your memory. Never throw them again type of shots. The other ones. What an awesome intro. Anyway, my name is Justin. I'm starting a disc golf channel. I've been playing for probably about the past 3 years or so. I've had some really high highs, really high, and I've had some really low lows, like really low. But the thing that keeps me coming back is the shots that I throw that are perfect. The ones I do exactly what I want to do. I choose the right disc, I put the right amount of angle on it, and I throw it on the right line. And those are the ones that keep me coming back, and those are my highs to the point where I feel like I'm on the verge of greatness. But then I have the lows. Hey, come here, look at them. Where are they at? But then I have the lows. I mean, the lows that are, I choose the complete wrong disc, put the opposite angle of what I want to throw it on, and I shank it into a tree. And I mean, those are the ones that I want to crawl in a hole, and I don't want to show my face again for, I don't know, the next 6 months. But the whole point of this channel is for me to highlight my mentality throughout my rounds. I tend to be super hard on myself because I expect everything to be perfect, but in reality I know that those things shouldn't be perfect, and I should really just learn how to move on to the next shot. The most important shot is always the next one. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm going to be playing at the woods at Trinity in DFW, Texas. Long pads to long baskets. It's probably one of the hardest layouts in DFW just because there's a ton of water carry. There's a bunch of water shots. And then sprinkled in the mix, there are some pretty tight wooded gap shots. I really enjoy this course. I think it's a good mix of holes. It's got some sneaky elevation. They keep up with it very well. But I hope you guys enjoy this course. And I'm going to be doing a giveaway at 1,000 followers. I'll be giving away 4 discs in my bag to any lucky person, and I'll sign it. But anyway, we're going to get right into it. Hole 1, 391 feet. It's a par 3, dead straight. Don't got nothing in the way. This is a great hole to start off the round. To really set the tone for the rest of your day right here. Off the tee, I'm going with the Draco. It's a little beat in, so it flies a little bit straighter. Throw it on, ride straight. It finishes about 30 feet, 25 feet or so in front of the pin. Then I'm left with this look for a birdie, and we cash it.
-1.
All right, here we go. Hole 2, 426 feet, par 4. The map shows it being dead straight, but it's really more of a snaking fairway. It barely hooks right, and then you have to have it go back left, so you want something to turn for just a minute and then fade out at the end. I'm trying not to hit this water pipe on the left, trying to block it out from my mind. Pop it up, ride the right side of the fairway, get a little bit of turn out of it. We need it to fade. It does. We're about 80 feet or so from the pin for a little eagle look. I want to give it a soft bid right here on this putt. Yep, that's about just what I wanted. Leave myself with a tap-in birdie.
-2.
All right, we're 2 down through 2, and we step up to the most intimidating hole in DFW. It's a 429-foot par 4, Water carry the whole way. It could really be a par 3. I'm going with a Star Wraith right here. Going to pop it up on some baby hyzer, let it ride straight. We do exactly what we wanted to do. It rides straight, and then we get a little flare skip to the left at the end. We're about pin high, 50 feet or so, and I opt to go for a layup, but it catches an edge, and it almost rolls into the water, but we have a tap-in birdie.
-3.
What a dream start. 3 down through 3, and then we step up to a 462-foot par 4. Rides dead straight, and then hooks a little to the left. I'm going Meridian Ravine off the tee, and I'm trying to get myself into position here for a nice 3-up shot and possibly a birdie. I leave it a little left side. I got to grab an A2 right here and go a low, sneaky forehand through this gap that moves left to right. Yep, we pure it. We get it to hyzer back out at the end. It leaves us about, 45 or 50 feet shorter, so we make a nice putt to save a par. Hole 5, 312, par 3. It's a dogleg right. I'm going a Dynamic Criminal off the tee. Should be a pretty easy forehand. I leave it very right, and somehow it magically ends up almost all the way up to the pin, about 50 feet short, and I have this about 50-footer or so for a birdie. Don't expect to make these all the time. I want to give it a decent bid. I give it good height, good pace, just a little long. So we have a tap-in par. Hole 6, 440, par 3. It's dead straight with a little bit of a left turn at the end. You want to throw something that just rides down the fairway and barely fades. I'm going with a Kyle Klein Vanguard. Throw it up, it's riding pretty straight. It goes through the left side gap up there, probably about 20 foot short or so. We're left with this about 30-foot putt, 20-foot putt, whatever you want to call it, for birdie. Oh man, that's 50. But we cash it. Hole 7, 485, par 4, ride straight and then hooks left ever so slightly the whole way. I'm going back to a latitude 64 flow. Pop it up on some hyzer through this right gap, get it to push, and then fade left at the end. Perfect shot. It was exactly what I wanted. I'm left with this 100-foot or so upshot. Oh boy. Loving the trees today. But now we have this 80-foot or so jump putt for a birdie. Don't expect to make this a lot of the times. I almost ruined that shot, but we have a tap-in par. Hole 8, 356, over water the whole way. Pretty open. You can really have just a dealer's choice of shots here. I'm waving at some people fishing in front of the basket and giving them a heads up. They give me the thumbs up. I'm going a US DGC Halo Wraith right here. Just going to try to go a big hyzer, leave it a little bit more right than what I wanted, but that's the miss on this hole because you don't want to lose a disc like that. But we're left with about a 45-footer or so for a birdie, and we cash it.
-5.
Next, we have a 299-foot par 3. I feel like it plays a little bit shorter compared to the rest of the holes here. I'm going AVR X3 off the tee, trying to throw it pretty much dead straight with a little bit of hyzer, and we end up hitting the tree on the right side. We have a nice little chip forehand here. Going up to the pin, should have a easy par, but I wanted to do a first-person POV on this putt, but it was really more of a tester than I thought it was. We end up making it and tap out for a par. Hole 10, 704, par 5. Got to get right into position off the tee. Yeah, I'm going to mute this for a second.
I'm ready, sugar muffin. I'm going to start just doing the nickname thing that you do to me. Sugar muffin. What do you think about that?
Yeah, nothing like good encouragement coming from your trusty cameraman, but I went Meridian Ravine off the tee. You have to try to throw it straight and get right in the mouth of this gap. I ended up being a little right of it, and I actually needed to do a pitch up that, I don't know why I had an attitude right there. Anyway, just going for a little layup right here with the soft Luna, throw it on Anheuser, get it into a better spot off the gap. And we get into a good spot here. I'm about to go Overstable Resistor from MVP. flex it from left to right, and we end up getting up about pin high, 40 feet left or so. We got a putt for birdie coming up around this tree. Made for an awkward putt, but we got it.
-6.
Next, we have hole 11, 423, par 4. Off the tee here, I'm going back to that Draco that's a little bit straighter. I'm going to try to turn it a little bit. I end up throwing it pretty much right into the ground. Not good at all. But I have this weird forehand straddle. It's a Mando right of that tree. So I'm trying to get a little creative and do like a forehand roller right here. End up getting it down. It gets into a good spot, and I'm left with this putt for a birdie. And not expecting to make this all the time, but end up giving it a good bid, and we cash it.
-7.
Hole 13, 668, par 4. We ended up having to skip 12 because there was a huge group on, and we had to walk up to the next tee pad. But I'm going Halloween Wraith right here, Garrett Girthy. Got a big tailwind, so I'm going to try to throw something pretty flat, get some good turn out of it, and really optimize the distance over the pond. You know, more just don't throw the disc in the pond. But we end up barely clearing, probably by about 10 feet or so. I got a nice, easy chip forehand up to the pin right here, about 150, 180 feet or so. We put it pretty close. We got about 20 feet into a raging headwind. Yeah, you can see where this is going. We tap out for a par here. Hole 14, 339 feet. It's a par 3. Going with a big spike hyzer shot here, back to that criminal, hanging it wide over the water, really trusting the stability of this disc. Really the only B is just left of the sidewalk, but we're about pin high, and I'm going to let this speak for itself.
Par.
I got to get better at that. That's just... Oh. Hole 15, 431, par 3. The fairway wants to take you left side, but I opt for the hyzer. I go with a criminal. Probably should have disked up to like a Wraith or something. It turns out fine. It's just a little short, and I have a small little pitch up for par. Not bad, not great. We really need to hop on the birdie train, and this is a good hole to do it. 207, par 3. Goes slightly downhill. Got a pretty tight gap to hit off the tee. I'm going soft, flippy Luna. We pure the gap. Give it a little bit of an ace run, but we have a tap-in bird. Always take that.
-8.
Hole 17 is a 336-foot par 3. Bends pretty hard to the right. I'm going really understable crave off the tee here. Going to take this left gap. Going to try to get it to turn, never come back. We pure it. We're walking down the fairway. We have a 15-footer or so for birdie. Yeah! All right, hole 18, 358. Pretty straight, hooks right at the end. We're going to try to work this flow from right to left on a forehand. Get it low, get it turning. Just turned it a little too much, but we made good progress off the tee. Let's get the camera situated. Oh, yep, there we go. We're ready to make a putt. We got about 60 feet or so for a birdie. Give it a good bid, give it good height, a little short. That's all right. It's going to be a tap-in par. Hole 19, 373, par 3. We're going to be throwing into a pretty mean headwind. I'm going back to a pretty stable Star Wraith. Gonna throw it up on a pretty big hyzer. Gonna try to let it stall out more than anything. Don't want it to crash down too hard. So basket is by the tree line. You don't want to go into those trees. But we're left with this putt. Hole 20, 467-foot par 3. It's going to be pretty much unbirdieable today as I'm facing a 20-mile-an-hour headwind. I'm going a Calvin Halo Destroyer off the tee. Not really expecting much, just trying to get as close as I possibly can. got that thing to turn over a little bit, and the headwind's pretty stable. But left with this up, run it really deep and give us about a 30-foot comebacker, and we toss it up in the air, and oh boy, didn't record it, but I missed that putt and it was a bogey. Hole 21, 382, par 3, over the water, straight ahead of us. The basket is a little elevated from the tee pad, so you do have to throw it a little bit harder than what you would want. Going back into that headwind with that's a Halo Wraith, the US DGC Halo Wraith. Throw it on some hyzer, go straight, fades out at the end, and left with about a 30-footer or so that almost rolled away down the hill. I was almost in disbelief going bogey in my round, but I got this little comebacker. We sink it, finish off the round, call it a day.